Hello and welcome along to a very special edition of the UFC's Inside the Octagon. In today's episode, we will be setting Mr. Hardy a challenge in what we are calling a one-round challenge. Dan, you get 5 minutes of a unified mixed martial arts bout in which to technically analyse a contest.
Okay.
Right, so we have a beautiful one for you. Rafael dos Anjos versus Eddie Alvarez. You like that one?
Love it.
Well, you only have 5 minutes. Do you understand the rules in which you are competing, sir?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic, because your challenge starts now.
Okay, first off, Eddie Alvarez, a well-established lightweight that have been contending on the international scene for a long time. He's fought a lot of good guys, a lot of high-ranked fighters. So when he came into the UFC, they throw him straight into the deep end and they give him cowboy straight off.
A big
Yeah, really a tough fight to come into the UFC with. But this is the first thing I want to talk about, is this Daniel Cormier, Randy Couture-esque single necktie that he uses to pull the fighter, his opponent, onto whatever punches he's landing. Eddie Alvarez is the quintessential boxer brawler. He likes to close that distance fast and he likes to land a high volume of strikes with a lot of power. He throws everything with power, as you can see. But he's also a very, I know it's just circles, circles, constantly moving in towards that hand. But he is a great wrestler as well, and this is something that he's coupled together really nicely. He was a boxer in high school, he wrestled in college, and he stitched them together really nicely for his mixed martial. Look at this beautiful overhand right there. The thing that I want to talk about with Eddie Alvarez, yes, he's a wrestler, yes, he's a boxer, but he's got a nice long stance and he's very athletic at jumping in and landing big, powerful shots. When he closes that distance, like he did against Gilbert Melendez, a beautiful takedown there, and he elevates the legs. Look at this. This is something he does quite a lot, and I like it because it really takes the base away of your opponent. If you take them down and elevate their legs, immediately it takes that option of popping back up to their feet straight away, because they've got to get their legs free before they can do anything. So that's important. And against Gilbert Melendez, this was a fight that had been in the making for a long time. Melendez had been a well-established lightweight in another organisation, as had Eddie Alvarez, and people wanted to see them compete. And when he did, he put on a great performance, as he did against former champion Anthony Pettis. And he pretty much took RDA's game plan that he used to take the belt off Pettis and replicated it. He took him down, he smothered him, he beat him up. He made it a very uncomfortable fight. For a guy that needs a lot of space to work, like Pettis, he just took that away from him. But RDA is going to do the same thing to Eddie Alvarez, or at least he's going to try to, because he also wants to close that distance. He also wants to put you up against the fence where he can corral you into a situation where he can land big, powerful shots. Now, RDA, he's the Thai boxer, jiu-jitsu guy. Boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Thai boxing. He has more options, more tools to use. He's got the knees, the elbows, the low kicks. Beautiful flying knee against Ben Henderson, dropped him, and then followed it with that nice left hook that finishes the fight. And we talk about low kicks, we talk about the Diaz fight. I mean, the targeting on these. It's this next one that I want to show you just here. Now, watch this. So he's just landed that kick. He landed it but beautifully on the thigh. It's going to take a lot of the strength out of that lead leg. Now, following this, Nate Diaz, as he is, you just hit me, I'm going to hit you back. So he goes to step in with a 1-2, but look what his front leg does. As this plays forward, he steps forward on the front leg, he goes to throw his 1. As he throws his 2, you see the leg buckle. He can't take a further step with it because of the damage done to the leg. This is going to be really interesting against a guy like Eddie Alvarez, who has got that nice long boxing stance that does like to leap in. If you can take away that front leg, it causes Alvarez all kinds of problems. And then he does this, he'll back up, he'll allow you to close that distance, and then beautiful timing right underneath, puts you on the floor and lands some nice clean ground and pound. And if he's on the top, he's dangerous here, but if you can put him on his back, like Alvarez may be able to, you've got to think about all the submissions that you can throw up off his back. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and as a champion, you would expect that. Eddie Alvarez, you can say the same thing about him. He has a lot of different options, a lot of different techniques. But if you talk about the cowboy fight with both fighters, the results were very different. Very different. Alvarez lost a split decision. Granted, it was his first fight in the UFC. We do have that Octagon jitters to think about. But RDA just ran right through him. I mean, it was the knee to the body that did it. He lands a beautiful knee to the body in this clinch here. Watch it. Bam, there it is. And immediately, as Cowboy backs up, you can see his face has changed. He's holding his breath there, and he brings his elbows in. So even when RDA backs him up against the fence, and he's got to be concerned about his head, he's still keeping his elbows low. He's still more concerned about his body than anything else. He's bringing his leg up to try and protect his body. this overwhelming nature in which RDA fights can be maintained over 5 rounds as well. That's what's scary. He doesn't slow down. These guys coming out of King's MMA have got that tenacity, that aggression, no matter what weight class they're fighting under.
30 seconds.
Even Verdum fights like that. You know, he's got really nice Thai boxing. If you take him down, he's going to choke you out. It's the same thing with RDA. So Alvarez has got a lot of barriers to work through in order to get his game plan to come to fruition.
Carry on.
It's all about that leaping in and out, though. I know you're going to ask me a question, and I think I'm going to answer it right now. Oh, there's my 10 seconds. He has to use that leaping in left hook, that speed, that athleticism that he has. Because if he gets backed up against the fence, RDA could reverse the script on him.
Very nicely done, sir. Very nicely done. I think he had one word less.
Yes, yes.
One left.
One left.
Well, as we know, when that is done,
yep.
And congratulations once again for successful challenge number 1. Fighters go back to their corner.
Yes.
If you could give one nugget of information to each of those fighters, which will help them in the next round,
yep.
What would it be, starting with the champion?
Well, for RDA, he has to take that movement away from Eddie Alvarez. He does have that really fast 0 to 60, leaps in, lands a couple of good punches, and once that one punch lands, he will continue with a flurry that may end in a takedown. RDA doesn't want to give him that space, so he has to crowd him, put him up against the fence. If I'm talking to the challenger, I'm going to say the exact opposite.
Alumium and Frankie Edgar.
You need space, you need to be moving, you need to be out of the way. Use that athleticism and speed to jump in, catch RDA, and then move off to a different angle and force him to turn. You've got RDA, who's the Thai boxer, who will walk you down and beat you up. And then you've got Alvarez, who can leap in and land big, quick shots and then shoot for a takedown. Really interesting, contrasting styles, but who wins on the night is the question that we're all asking.
Thank you very much, sir. That is the 1-round challenge complete. We have another one of these coming your way for the International Fight Week sequence of Inside the Octagon we have, and that is between Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Claudia Gadelha. Plus, also, we have the other full scope 3 Inside the Octagon breakdowns that we normally do together. So lots coming your way. All of that stuff is going to be in the notes below. Below that, we would like your comments, and also on social media, you know where to find us using the hashtag Inside the Octagon. That is it for us for now. Check out all of that other stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.